Good morning, Goderich. This is Anthony Wilkinson. It's July the 9th, 2010. You're in the comfort zone, in the passenger of my sweet ride. And I'm here outside the Goderich Library in beautiful Goderich, Ontario, of course, as always. It's a bit of a drizzly day today, and I'm going to talk a bit about a book review now. As is my impromptu shooting style, I've just shown up outside the library, and I'm hoping they're going to let me film inside. So I'm going to try to get permission, and I'll be back with you in a second. Hey there, I'm back again. I had a quick talk with the library staff. The manager's out today. She'll be back on Friday. So I'm going to talk to her about coming in and filming. It's kind of embarrassing, actually, that I've been in the bottom floor of the library, but never been in the upper floors. It's a colossal reading room with magazines and newspapers and stuff. It's pretty neat. So I'm going to take you through there. That's my fan on my laptop. I'm going to take you through there on Friday and see what happens. Today, though, I'd like to talk about a book I've read recently. It's called The Dip by Seth Godin. And The Dip is an interesting book. It's about how to become the best in the world, however, you can define the world however you like. And it's how to quit constructively, I guess, is what is kind of the premise there. So the dip is described as a curve. And so, maybe we'll come from this side, is you start off with doing a skill, and you kind of have beginner's luck, so your skill goes up, you get, a return on investment, if you want to borrow a business term. And then, but what happens is your beginner's luck kind of runs out, and you get into the part where you have to really buckle down, and the results of what the effort you put in diminish, and you end up this place called the dip. And the dip continues and continues and continues, and then finally, at the end of the dip, it shoots up, and you become, one of the leaders in that field or in that skill set after putting in that investment of that large area in the dip. And it talks about how you recognize when that's happening to give you some motivation to lean into it, to talk to other people, to get support, to keep trying to build your skills up to make it through that point where you come out and you come out as a leader in that field, in that skill, what have you. And he makes a point very strongly that at some point, he makes the case that being the best in the world or in your community or in your business field is really actually underrated. You'd think it's you think being the best is great, and but really he says it's even more than that. The benefits of being the best in your field is you get all this recognition, you get to provide your skills to other people, you continue to challenge yourself by moving into different fields or by continuing to climb up that other end, and the benefits at the other end of the dip are a lot higher than you would even think they would be. And the other thing I said before was quitting. Everybody knows the Vince Lombardi quote, and he mentions it in this book, is winners never quit and quitters never win. But he says things like, it may be constructive to quit things that aren't going to pay off in the end, that you're not going to have this big upswing after investing a lot of time and energy into it, and use the analogy of snowboarding, because snowboarding is a really difficult sport to, my limited understanding of snowboarding is a limited sport to become proficient in, because, you go out and you fall down all day, and at the end of the day you might be able to make it down the hill without falling on your face. But Seth's, his argument is like, if you're not planning on being like a professional snowboarder, of which there are very few because it's so difficult to become a great snowboarder, then maybe your time is best spent working on what you're good at versus trying to become the investment in buying snowboard equipment and going to hill paths and things like that. And you recognize there's other patterns. So we have this kind of dip pattern where you have a little peak and then the long dip and then the big upswing at the end. But there's also the cul-de-sac, which is where you're kind of just continuing with little ups and downs, but you're not really going anywhere. And so this is you're in a field and you're kind of content where you are, or it's like a leisure activity, which I I kind of liken to golf. I'm not a golfer, but people are just kind of content to have their game the way it is. They'd like to be better, but I mean, they do it. It's a leisure activity, so they're not really looking to be to join the tour, if you will. And the other one that you really need to watch out is the cliff, which is not good. So you're basically up, and then there's a big drop off at the end. And that's things like for instance, from a business term, you're in a marketplace that's dying. You're making stuff for horse-drawn buggies when the automobile is, coming out. You're making copper wire when fiber optics are taking over. Things like that. So you're going to have a real growth period, but then also it's going to tail off. On the extreme side, smoking, you're getting more and more enjoyment out of smoking the more you smoke, but then something bad usually happens if you smoke for a really long amount of time and a lot of cigarettes. And the other analogy somebody brought up, actually another review of this book, was of being a prize fighter or a boxer or mixed martial artist, is where at the end of your career, when you start having a string of losses because you're at you're at the highest level in the sport, and of course all your challengers are coming after you, and when you get older and you start experiencing a string of defeats, that can become a real downward trend if you're going out and taking a beatings because that's what you do. It's maybe time to move on to a different field. So that's really the nutshell of the dip. It's if you want to be best in the world, you're going to recognize that you're going to have some successes early, and you're going to have a period where it's going to feel like there's a really long road ahead of you, and you don't seem like you're making much progress. And those are the times, if this is your passion that you're into, those are the times to really lean into it, get some support from your friends, attend conferences, become a learner, and really hone your craft. And when you come out the other side, there's a lot of reward waiting for you. And again, recognize sometimes the cul-de-sacs are just, if you're content, then maybe you should be leaving that activity and focusing it somewhere else, or if you see maybe that there's an end to this activity I'm engaging in that's not going to go well, then maybe it's time to get out now and invest your time and energy into something that's going to be a real success at the end of the day. So it's The Dip by Seth Godin. It's an excellent book. I recommend it. It's very, very short. I think I read it in 2 nights or something, and I think it's just really fascinating, and it's important to focus on your passions. So, good morning, Goderich. This is Anthony Wilkinson. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.